Alright, hello and welcome back to Ashgabat Cats. Let's play that. Today we're taking a look at James Bond Jr. Now you've probably heard of James Bond, it's a little hard not to have. But have you heard of James Bond Jr.? Well, admittedly, I have not. Let's see, press start to start, press select to enter. Ooh, music options. Oh, this is the lamest music option screen I've ever seen. Which is to say, it's just the main screen, but it does it all. Now, if you're jonesing for some music options, I definitely recommend leaving it on, because this must have been made by some sort of European company, because they got an awesome Eurobeat sound. Do they expect me to press A to continue? I guess they do. Oh, not Scumlord. He's my favorite James Bond Jr. Is this even canon? Is this even slightly canon? I can totally imagine the author of James Bond is like, if only I had some sort of character to appeal to the children. I have James Bond to appeal to older people. Now, do I have James Bond Jr. to appeal to kids? And then his editor is like, this is a terrible idea and will ultimately devalue the entire James Bond theme. And he's like, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway. Actually, no. I don't think that's what happened. Especially because that hypothetical editor... you can't skip this text anymore. Especially because the hypothetical editor was entirely right. This game is ultimately devaluing to the James Bond franchise as a whole. At least so far. Oh, and alright. That is the floatiest jump I've ever seen. Are you sure he's not on the moon? I know there's a time limit in the lower right-hand corner, but sometimes you gotta sharpen your axe before you chop with your axe. Alright, so we've mastered jumping, shooting, of course there's a limit. Press start, press select, L and R don't exist, and let's go. So, I'm not 100% sure those are landmines, but I don't want to risk it. Okay, so this is apparently an adventure. Will he die? Oh no, he just lands on a pogo. What the heck? Is that guy just like a little too big proportionally? Okay, I'm not sure how you're supposed to start this game, but I'm betting you don't start by jumping down here and killing that guy, because that took like half my... Oh, never mind. That was a smart move on my part, if I may say so correct myself. Okay, so up looks like a total trap. Let's go right, or left. Now, I'm assuming the way this works is you're going to explore around, maybe Bionic Commando style, where you've got various places to check out, things to do, and ultimately you want to defuse that bomb before it explodes. That's actually fairly cool how it's open-ended. Oh, apparently to jump on a ladder you have to jump on from the bottom. Oh, I already found the rocket. Well, that was an easy game. Let's see. This is the most vulnerable way to climb a rocket or ladder I've ever seen. Wow, ducking does not help. Geez, this guy, whoever coded the AI in this game is a genius, because those AI are just unbeatable. Okay, now we're playing a slider puzzle, which almost... oh my gosh. Oh, I see. One of the spots is blank and empty, and you're moving that blank spot. Unfortunately, the colors aren't good enough that I can't tell which one it is. What is happening? Oh, okay. So it's not quite what I thought it was, but it's not what I thought it was either. I just realized the counter for the bomb is still ticking down, so great. Yeah, okay, who's a super genius? Easy peasy, no problem. So that's it then. Okay, I think the commander misspoke. I believe I've disabled a missile. There are probably still like, oh, 4. Okay, there's a handy number right there. Now, I gotta say, for being a game that sounds so much like a ripoff, I mean, the game is called James Bond Jr. for Christ's sakes. I've never heard of a James Bond Jr. This game actually does seem to be an open-world adventure game, which, I mean, granted, it probably released late in the NES's life cycle, so it can kind of cheat and say it was technologically innovative, but speaking of technological innovations, okay, so apparently you just have to hold down on the A button and then you jump at your apex. Which seems like a bad control scheme, but hey, it's not like there was any other prominent open world game that could do controls better. Oh my gosh. Never been so thankful for an enemy before in my life. Okay. Although I find it a little strange that that dazed him, but then falling like 50 stories to get down here in the first place, and he is like A-okay. But anyway, this game seems to be following... Oh, okay, we're using one of our 5 lives. He's like a cat. He's like a discount cat. That's why he only has 6 lives. Anyway, so, this is an open world game. Okay, if you hold A, you can jump higher off of the electricity. So anyway, this game invites obvious comparisons to Metroid. Again, they're both open world platforming based games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I'm pretty sure Metroid came first, otherwise we'd be hailing James Bond Jr. as the innovative classic it always should have been. But, well, I mean, I gotta say though, even if this is just another open world game for the Nintendo, I mean, that's not like a bad thing if you think about it. Open world was not really a crowded genre, at least certainly not back then. And so to have any games like this that you could, I feel like you'd be thankful for that as a player. Now, as a kid, you would absolutely hate it because it would take forever to navigate through it. But this is the kind of game where you show it to your dad or your mom, and initially they're like, oh my god, this game is stupid. Why do you play video games? Video games rot your mind. But then they start playing it, and then they get further than you ever could as a kid because they, being an adult, are capable of critical thinking. And also memory. And so they would get further, they'd kind of help you, and then it'd become a father-child or mother-child bonding session. And then you would come away all the wiser on how to come up with a more nuanced appreciation of who they were as people. But if you were just a kid, especially if you were a kid who made the ill-advised choice to rent this over a weekend, now I'm lost. Well, I am loath to admit, but I may secretly be a 5-year-old child beneath this cat-like exterior. Anyway, yeah, and then you see who can progress further. Of course, if you're an unfortunate soul who decided to rent this game, you would be completely lost, you would hate it for that weekend, and then you would never touch it again. You're like, oh man, James Bond Jr. Okay, how do I get out? Can you get out? I like how there's no like game over screen or anything, it's just James Bond just like responds right exactly where he is. And it's like, yeah, way to just rub it in. It's like, oh, the adventure continues. On the bright side, though, the game does seem to be keeping track of which enemies you've killed, and it doesn't respawn them. So again, this is probably a fairly late NES game, but not a bad one. I mean, they're taking everything people have learned about Metroid and then making their own, and making it pretty good. Let's bask in my glories. Remember when I was good at this game? Okay, good. You press start to exit that screen, which was not at all obvious. Yeah, remember when I achieved something? Good times, good times. Oh, God. Well, anyway, I learned an important lesson. When you're jumping on the water, you have to hold the opposite direction. Now, why did the developers do that? To mess with you, duh. Why do developers do anything in a video game? But, well, just interesting little tidbits, things you can control. You know, I just realized the existential, negatives of having a timer right there. It's like, well, now I can see exactly how much time I've wasted on this game. Did I say wasted? That's too harsh a word. How much time I've spent enriching my overall video game knowledge with this game. I mean, this game's alright, but again, the Metroid 2 re-release is coming out pretty soon. That game promises to be fun. This game, sort of fun, no map, don't like it. Okay, so I've now exhausted all possibilities. I may be completely lost. Oh, okay, I forgot about that one tiny little doorway all the way on the right. Because again, why would you go into that tiny little doorway that's so obscure? Well, let's go into that tiny little doorway even though it's so obscure. Okay, I don't know if that's how you were supposed to do that, but that's how I did it. Ah, these idiots only fight with their fists, one might assume from their appearance. They probably do a lot of damage. Not now, Robo-Mutt. Man, whoever programmed the AI in this dog, genius level. Genius level. So, this is more absurd than I ever could have imagined. They don't attack with their fists, they attack with bombs? What? Oh, my gun heals... Okay. How do I change to bombs? No? Oh, okay. In what is the most intuitive button combination ever, you hold down and select, and then you can change your weapon. look at James Bond just toss a bomb out. He's so casual about it. I can imagine James Bond in like a crowded park. He's like, oh hey little doggy, how are things going? Have a bomb, have a bomb, have a bomb. Obviously he's wearing a trench coat in my imagination for maximum effect. Heck yes, I want more bombs. James Bond, the Mad Bomber. You know, they missed a real opportunity here. I mean, I know they were trying to cash in on the James Bond franchise, but they should have named him James Bomb, and then make his only attack a bomb. Now that's an idea bad enough that I bet somebody's done it. Come on, man. You know you want to die? So, apparently you can't run out of ammo. I mean, I can. Okay. Nope. Well, you're not actually that frightening, huh? Is this a boss, or is he just a guy? Okay, I guess he's just a guy. Okay, we'll cross this the old-fashioned way. Also, there's a swimsuit. It doesn't shoot out dolphins or anything weird. He just kind of dressed... You put him in the swimsuit and he's like ladders. What are those? I don't do ladders. Oh my god, I'm so lost right now. Which is okay, because this game seems to be surprisingly linear for an open world game. You know what? You can live another day, minions. Oh, there we go. Back to the surface. I was kind of jonesing for the surface. Now that I'm here, I realize I don't actually miss it, but it still makes for a nice change of pace away from underground catacombs. Oh my gosh. Well, Contra, this is not. I appreciate that they went open world for these. Oh, apparently if you run into the bombs, which seems counterintuitive on all intuitions. Come on, get down, get down, get down. Okay, there we go. Easy peasy. Apparently, if you run into the bombs, you can reflect them back at the people. I don't think it actually does any sort of damage, but it's something you can do. There's one down. Oh my gosh. Why did he choose the best weapon for the job right here? I'm pretty sure there is a way to play this game in a skilled manner, it's just, I don't... Well, if we weren't on a weird island full of crazy desert tricks, then, I'm pretty sure I would have expected that. Nope, swimsuit does not protect you from, landmines. Oh, now how's that for critical thinking? You can use bombs to deflect, these. Can you jump down to fall faster and not get hit by the turret? Yes, you can. Not gracefully, but you can. What the heck? So, okay. Okay, now, can we use the computer? No. This computer, I'm pretty sure it's important. Okay, I guess the computer was a decoy the whole time. Oh, there we go. Another puzzle. Oh, never mind. We're still in it to win it. And by win it, I mean kind of, you know, limp along. See how far we can get. James Pond. Come on. Wow, enemies take too long to kill. I mean, I guess you get more ammo quite readily, but it should not take like half a second to kill an enemy. Well, that's okay. You know what, Jetpack Guy, I have no time for you. Okay, another one of these light puzzles. I think I've figured it out. I'm probably good at this now. There we go. Easy as apple pie. Well done, you've disarmed the missile. Only 3 more to go. Well, this game is actually easier than I would have suspected. Of course, I was expecting it to be essentially impossible. Okay, if it's not clear by now, we are obviously not going to finish the game. But at the very least, we can get somewhere. Yeah, okay, I'll admit. Well, I guess I'll start wrapping up now, even though we technically have more game to go. I mean, I'll admit, when I first saw this game, I thought, oh my god, this game sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And now that I've played it, it seems kind of okay. So that's it then. The land just ends. Now we have to actually hunt around for the next missile. Okay. That seems... Oh, why were the Moai heads so easy to dodge the first time around? Well, I mean, it kind of goes to show you, it's like when you were a kid, everything seems so big and everything's kind of hard to remember, but then you actually do it as an adult and your scale is just completely different. And, oh man, we could continue. Oops, my hand slipped. We pressed no. Still though, James Bond Jr. was actually pretty cool. I mean, you saw it in the beginning and it's like, oh, James Bond Jr., this is gonna be dumb. And then it turns out to be an open world game. Arguably on the level of Metroid. I guess there are passcodes that you can use to save. But, again, Metroid had a battery-backed save. But, I mean, either way, you can save your progress. I mean, I think Metroid was probably the better game. It is probably set up so, you can beat it. Whereas this is kind of set up where it's like it's long enough that you can't just finish it in a rental. Or if you can, that'll be one heck of a weekend. Although, I gotta say, this is the coolest opening screen, intro screen music I've heard in a game yet. It's a little bit of a shame that the music in the actual game itself is not as good, but bless their hearts, they're trying. And then the colors are Well, the orange gradient thing is actually really, really good. The lime green James Bond Jr. I could do without. Yeah, I'll be honest, there's not much to say. I mean, is it a hidden gem? I don't know. I haven't played it quite enough. It's at least a game that merits further exploration. It may not be a gem, but at least it's a hidden ore deposit, let's say. Well, on that note, this cat's got a scat.